Does anyone have a question? Hmm. I spoke earlier today about something that I think is really quite important. And although I don't like to repeat myself, and these talks are usually very extemporaneous, the subject is something that I think is, basically what I talked about was, I've been teaching this meditation now for 40 years. I mean, that's all more time than some of you are even alive. And, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of people have come. And there's always been classes in the number of 20, 30 people. Never, at some points, and when I had the Fourth Avenue Center, I would get up 60, 80 people. It would be 100 people, but not too often. And what I'm trying to say is, people come, people go. These classes continue, and they continue to nurture people that attend them. And when people, come, I make a complete commitment to myself to do everything I can to help them grow in their life. Of course, I need their help to do it. I can't nurture a person who doesn't want to really be nurtured. But the fact is that in 40 years, these classes continue. And I thought about that earlier today, last night. I said, that's truly an amazing thing that they just go on and on. And people come and people leave and people come and others leave. And yet the classes continue. And they continue to nurture people that attend them in a very deep way. And I'm very grateful for that. I mean, I attended all these classes for 40 years. I really am, you know, I really have been there to do this. And I realize that it's important to make a commitment like that because it truly enables one to work out karma, to learn more than anything how to serve a higher energy in the universe, which is more important than me going out to dinner with somebody, me having this, me having that, me having the other. Service of a higher energy brings nothing but deep, realization. And if one works, and as I say all the time, develops the chakra system, understand ultimately it has to lead to that kind of a path. Not the way I do it, but in one's own unique individual way. They're going to wind up serving a higher force of energy in the universe. But I thought about this the other day. I said, holy crap, 40, maybe 50 years of teaching this, and these classes continue. They just continue. And I think it's like a miracle that they just continue. And people that come are open to receive what they need to grow in their life, to develop two things: their own humanity and a connection with spirit, higher energy. I mean, there's not too much in this world that just continues over 40 years. It just continues. And I thought of this is something that's miraculous. And I don't take credit for it. You understand? I have to attend these continuous classes because every class I go to teaches me something important about what I need to grow and to open to a higher energy in the universe. Does anyone have a question? So what I'm saying really is don't take this for granted. This is a gift of God. You understand? I don't take credit for this. I just do what I have to do to serve a higher energy. And I don't, I told you I'm not a guru, I'm not a this, or that. I take, the energy of my life and use it to serve a higher force in the universe. And it uses me this way. And you have to be used. You understand? I mean, you go to a gas station, they put gas in your tank. If you don't know how to drive the car, what's the purpose? So here we learn how to build chakras. And these classes go on, and they've been going on for 40 more, maybe, I don't know, 50 years. And that doesn't include Rudy doing them for another 30 years, you know? And it's like going to the gas station to get your tanks filled. But you have to develop the chakra system in order to drive the car, in order to run your life consciously. The chakra system has to be highly developed. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how much gas you put in the tank, the car is not going to drive if you don't know how to drive it. Does anyone have a question? I hope it's clear what I'm talking about. I think it's really an important thing, and it teaches one, with Rudy's last words, a deepest sense of surrender, letting go, not, aggrandizing one's self-importance, letting go, let God do it, let the universe do it, and be grateful for what is being given.
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, Bob?
Could you talk a bit more about what you mean by being used by a higher force in your life?
Well, it's what I said. I taught this meditation. It must be well on 45 years or so, maybe more. I don't know. I don't calculate this in my brain. And the reason I've done it is I'm being used by a higher energy in order to bring this Shakti that you all experienced in the last hour into the lives of people. And having worked on myself in the kind of depth that Rudy worked on himself and other people work on themselves, you understand, it made me open enough to be able to be a servant to God, humbly and with all humility, to say thank you for allowing me, to be a transmitter of this energy that can nurture other human beings and help them also connect with God's spirit. And I realized I'm being used by a higher energy in order to do this, what I do. And the last thing in the world I can do is take credit for it. It's not me doing this. I'm being used, and I've been trained, and I've developed in myself the capacity to allow that energy to flow. I've developed a kind of state of nothingness in myself. It allows that energy to flow, to allow higher energy in the universe to use me as a channel in which Shakti can flow and nurture other people. I mean, there's too much self-importance in the guru world. I mean this. There's too much, I am the one doing it. None of us are doing it. We are the ones that made a covenant with higher energy that we will work hard enough on ourselves to be able to transmit the kind of Shakti that can nurture people in this world. That's what we've done. And never for a second ever believe that I am the one doing this. I'm not. Because the second that I believe that, it's all over with. And then it becomes ego and self-importance and charisma and blah, 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 and all that madness that just does nothing but destroy the lives of people. So one has to truly work on themselves and really open to a state of nothingness inside. Allow oneself to be used by higher energy, by God, whatever you want to call it, you know. I certainly am not the highest energy in the universe. There's energy that is so infinitely greater than me that all I can do is bow down to it and say, I'm grateful that it can use me to transmit Shakti, energy, and nurture other human beings. So when I talk about being used, that's what I'm talking about. But you can't be used if you don't do the work. As I say, you can't drive a car if you don't know how to drive it. You got to learn how to drive it. And the chakra system, you've got to learn to be used by higher energy. You have to learn how to develop a chakra system that allows that energy to truly work for you. It drives the car. It creates the world around you. And the highest levels of that energy is love. It's gratitude. It's joy. It's happiness. It's an open heart. I mean, frankly, I would rather be used by that energy than to be used by my ego. Build up some Frankenstein in my brain, some monster of who I am and what I am and my self-importance. I mean, for God's sake, with this election going on, all you have to do is read the media and all you see is that. I mean, people that have created monsters inside themselves of self-importance. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Bob. It's a great question. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, there'll be meditation Sunday. Remember, the clocks change Sunday. It's an hour early at the exact same time, okay? Just have to get up a little earlier and move the clock. Okay, if there are no more questions, God bless you all. Thank you for being here, part of my 40 years of also being here. And without you, there are no classes. So God bless you all for wanting this, for using it to develop your life, to grow. I couldn't ask for more. So thank you and bless you. And there'll be a meditation on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome.